All right, I've been well, first and foremost, give all praises and honor and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his son, the Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah, Yeshua, Yehoshua, but we mostly know as Jesus Christ. I wanna deal with affliction. I see a lot of people having questions about why would God allow us to suffer? Why would He allow such affliction? Why would people be born with cancer and And I see a lot of atheism dealing with this. And so I want to do a series or just, I really we do this lesson. We'll start with this lesson. Dealing with suffering so we can get more clarity on it and see that there are great benefits with the afflictions. There are great benefits with the afflictions. Write down the afflictions are the blessings. We're going to deal with Paul. Now in Acts 9, Christ told one of his disciples, hey man, you know what? Paul's going to come to you. He's like, hey man, Paul's one of your greatest oppositions, man. He been persecuting us for teaching your word. He said, listen, don't even worry about all that. He's going to come to you and he's going to have to suffer many things for my name's sake. All right. He's going to have to suffer many things. This is in Acts 9. He will have to suffer many things for my name's sake. Paul, you go to Acts 14. Paul and Barnabas is going, they're in the city of Lystra. And there's a crippled man there that's been crippled since they was born. All right. Everybody, when the text is saying something like that, well, he was crippled since he was born. That everybody knows this crippled man. You done went to school with that individual. Y'all done went to you done watched him grow up. You've always known him to be crippled. He could never walk right. You always knew that he needed assistance, etc. Very, very, you like, I ain't gonna say he was a celebrity, but everybody probably knew this individual in the city. Paul comes to Lystra and he heals this man. He heals this crippled man. And the people of Lystra, they were heathens. They were pagans. They felt that Paul and Barnabas, they said, man, that's so miraculous of a event that you just did, that they felt like these people, they thought they were some Greek god, Jupiter and Mars. They was like, this is the god Jupiter and Mars that have come down in the form of man. And Paul and them were distraught, man. They would tore their shirts up like, no, man, what in the world are you talking about? All this, all praise and honor go to the Most High God. This is not no god of darn Saturn and Mars. This is not those deities. Let me tell you about Christ. Let me give you this gospel. And while he's telling these people this gospel and helping them understand what deity he actually did this under and what authority he's working under, Jews come in and they're provoking the people to kill Paul. That Paul is a fraud. That they're not teaching a true deity. That there's some, they doing some kind of magic or something. It's all games. It's all sorcery. So we're going to pick up right there, right? Acts 14, we're going to start at verse 19. It says, and there came thither certain Jews from Antioch and Iconium who persuaded the people, and having stoned Paul, drew him out of the city, supposing he had been dead. So they done rallied these people up. After these Jews come in, they see Paul and them as they've got so much attention because of that miracle and some of the words that they're preaching. They a little salty about that because they want to be in that position. And so they look at Paul teaching all of these people, and they get the people to, you know what? Nah, we just gonna kill this joker. And they end up stoning Paul. And they drug him out of the city. All right? They stoned him till he was limp. They drug him out of the city and left him for dead. Verse 20, he says, howbeit, okay, as the disciples stood round about him, very important there. Very important what the writer's describing there. As the disciples, as those listeners, those believers stood around him. You know, they ain't left him for dead. They came there, you know, they watched him get stoned till he was lifeless and dragged out of the city, but they still followed him. And as they gathered around him, what does the Bible say? He rose up. Paul rose up in the midst of those believers as they watched him get stoned to death, and came into the city. And the next day he departed from Barnabas in Derbe. He departed with Barnabas to Derbe. Verse 21, and when they had preached the gospel to that city and had taught many, they returned again to Lystra. Lystra is where he got stoned at. This is where he did the miracle of healing this man who had been born crippled. He's back there. After he had risen, he goes back there where those disciples seen him stoned and risen up. He goes back there where Jews wanted to kill him. He goes back there. Watch this. He returns to Lystra and to Iconium in Antioch, verse 22, confirming the souls of the disciples. Confirming meaning strengthening the souls of those believers once they see the reappearance of Paul. Once they see Paul back, they like, wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. First off, the Joker done heal somebody who this Joker walking, we ain't never seen him walk. There ain't never been nobody who can heal this crippled man. Now he comes along, heals him. We watched the man get stoned. You can't even stone him. You can't kill him. And now he come back teaching us this good news, glorifying the true God. Watch what he tells them. Verse 22 again, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of God. It's going to take tribulation. It's going to take certain afflictions to enter into the kingdom of God. And so he was prepping them because they were going to face much persecution. You may face much persecution. You may face much tribulation. You gonna go through some things if you're a vessel of God. And the reason for that is to confirm or strengthen the souls of the believers. All right. This man was born blind. I'm sorry. There was a man born blind, though. That might be the spirit. Let me tell you that. And the disciples asked Christ, why is this man born blind? And they told him, for this very moment that we can glorify God. Watch me use him for the glory for glorifying God's name. And this man that was born crippled was there for Paul to heal him. In God's name, to give him that glory. Paul, not only that, but then Paul has to get stoned to death, thrown out the city. Once the believers come around him, he's risen up. For what? To confirm, to glorify God and confirm and strengthen those believers. I want you to write this down. Your suffering may save somebody. I pray this thing was edifying. Y'all be blessed.